In chat, we'll take like 30 seconds ish. Put as many ideas as you have for the following question. How many different uses or use cases can you come up with for a fork? A comb, back scratcher, ooh, food fight, hairbrush, Ariel the Little Mermaid, eating, prying open a jar.
So why would we start with this activity? This is called the alternate use test. The alternate use test is used by researchers who are studying creativity, right? What they're trying to figure out is how creative are you? How many novel ideas can I come up with? And believe it or not, some scientists said, wow, let's measure the creativity of AI. Is it more or less creative than we are? I want to point you to these slides. There's a lot of stuff here. Ed will put the links to the actual presentations, to the actual studies. There's a few things I want to point out if we look at this one on the left, or actually you can look at either of them. That large green line at the top, those are the most creative humans, meaning that 10% or so of people were already so creative, AI didn't help them. They outperformed everything. If you see in the middle there, there's like a yellow line in the center of both of those. That's the mean, that's the average human, right? So the average human, obviously, we expect this difference between the most creative and most average. And by the way they're measuring this is how many ideas, and then they have human on this one on the left, and on the right, AI, judge the ideas, right, to give them creativity scores. The interesting one is over here on the right. If we see that GPT-4 line, it's like kind of purplish, pinkish. It's at the top, right under that green line on the right. That's GPT-4. That's the previous model of AI. So I want you to notice two things. First of all, AI helps make the least creative folks most creative. It does not exceed the creativity of the most creative individuals. However, on average, it's more creative. Megan, I don't know if you want to add anything to it, but there's
Yeah.
something really interesting or intriguing in me about how us as L&D professionals can start thinking about this, in the sense that it is extremely creative. It helps us be more creative, and it reduces the creativity of our entire organization.
To tie a bow around that, so Gen AI is creative, right? Like it could help us as individuals, but the point being, like when you're getting together, like with a group to do a brainstorming session, the collective group is going to be far more creative than just going to a tool, right? And so I think, the point being, like the uniqueness of the ideas as a group is going to be far more creative, insightful, fun, than just leveraging Gen AI.
So let's look at the bottom. Tutor and mentor. Well, that's simple. We get that, right? I created an adaptive tutor. I'll share it with you. It can teach you about anything. I put all my content into an AI and it could teach me. I mean, that makes sense to me. I think we can do that. It's cool. But if we look at the top there, that AI is student, that one's really intriguing to me. What if my job as the learner going through a program is not to pass a quiz, but to teach an AI student to pass a quiz? And what if we look at that one on teammate, I'm having to learn how to do something on a team, I'm being taught, or I'm in a learning experience where teammate or teamwork or working with someone else as a team, it's that discovery, that moment that you say, oh, this wasn't about writing another paper. This was about creating an assistant for myself that will always write me papers. That to me is the key. And when we start seeing that, I think, Megan, that's when we get to this org chart of the future, which is taking those roles. And if you want to pop that up, taking the roles we're thinking about with L&D and sort of expanding them. What are the roles we could see in a whole org? And so if you see at the top, we have almost, AI agent as assistant or chief of staff, right? You could have AI agent as sort of your personal executive assistant. All the way in the bottom left, I could have an AI agent who is an employee of mine or an individual contributor.